Hi guys, so the Borders Bill was debated in the House of Commons on Tuesday and Tory MP Sir Edward Leigh invoked Brexit. Yes, I know we're not supposed to talk about Brexit and immigration together, but Chief Brexiteer Sir Edward invoked it, not me. But what he wants to do is criminalise people seeking asylum in the United Kingdom. We've had Priti Patel attempting to make it a criminal offence for Ukrainians at the moment arriving in the UK without the correct paperwork. As said before, these people do not represent the majority of British people. The majority support opening up to refugees. Edward Leigh does not represent them.
Actually have been generous. We have to have a sense of proportion, such as the overwhelming number of people who want to come here, that we just have to hold the line. And if we don't, it would have a catastrophic effect on race relations. A catastrophic, yes, it would, because people would be angry about it. They would think, why did I vote Brexit when I can't even control my own borders?
You've heard it from the horse's mouth. It would affect race relations. People who voted for Brexit would be angry that the borders were not controlled and race relations were affected. Now we're talking about refugees coming from Ukraine at the moment. Maybe Sir Edward Leigh is talking about other refugees. But for most British people, refugees are refugees. They don't differentiate. But there you have it. Brexit and race. But he continues.
What is the government doing? The government, to be responsible, has to have a response to try and deal with illegal cross-channel crossings. And if you look at all these amendments, they would just add to the pull factors. Consider one amendment, for instance, which says that you should be allowed to work after 6 months. That is an extraordinarily attractive pull factor.
It's not a pull factor. The people are leaving places of war. And in many cases, they're leaving places where we in the West destroyed. Okay. Previously in this rant by Sir Edward Leigh, he talked about Iraq. Iraq being one country where many people have left because of the strife that's taking place there. We are responsible for that. We are responsible for the push factor. And the fact that he's saying, yes, being able to work after 6 months is some sort of pull factor. People are abandoning their homes because their lives are at risk. They're not saying, I'm going to go to Britain. Yes, I'm being bombed at the moment, but I want to go to Britain because I can work after 6 months.
So I'm afraid that the government has to hold...
I'm sorry, and what's wrong with people working, contributing to society, not being a sponge on the state like particular members of parliament?
Hold the line on this. My personal view is that until we are prepared to criminalise people who take this illegal route,
criminalising the people who have no other route. They can't fly in. They're not allowed to fly in. They're not allowed to get on a ferry and cross the board, cross the channel into the UK, into Britain. Those pathways are closed off to them. So the only route they can take is in a dinghy, is paying somebody a huge amount of money to allow them to get in a boat, a rickety boat, and risk their lives getting to the United Kingdom. And he wants to make, and he thinks those people are the problem.
Until we are prepared to arrest them, and until we are prepared to deport them, we will never...
This is frustrating to listen to. You want to arrest people who have not committed a crime. You want to deport people who are seeking asylum. It's not a crime to seek asylum. There's no crime committed here, but you want to punish people who have not committed a crime. And this is meant to be the Libertarian Party, in a sense.
Have a chance of dealing with this trade. This bill is just the first step in trying to deal with this appalling problem. And I ask those who support these amendments and who oppose the government today, I repeat this question: what is their solution?
The solution is simple. You open up channels for people to arrive in the UK and claim asylum in the UK and not have to rely on dinghies and not have to rely on people traffickers. That's the solution. It's quite simple.
People are pouring across the channel every day. Sooner or later, there's going to be a terrible tragedy. We've already had one tragedy in November.
Then the way to stop the tragedy is to open the channels, allow people to arrive by plane or allow people to arrive by ferry. If you're truly concerned about people drowning in the sea, then the best way is to not have people drown in the sea. Allow them to avoid using these boats and these channels. It's quite simple.
What is their solution? How are they going to stop it? How are they going to break this cycle used by criminal gangs? There is no solution apart from what the government is attempting to do today. It is a minimum solution. It is actually an humanitarian solution.
Making it illegal. That's a humanitarian solution.
It is trying to prevent people taking these appalling risks.
So somebody is going to risk their life and you're going to say, well, we're going to make it illegal. And then they're going to decide, well, okay, then I'm not going to do it. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't work like that. Obviously, Sir Edward Leigh has never been in a situation, any sort of stressful situation, any sort of desperate situation. He can't even relate to someone who's in a desperate situation to understand why they would do that. You know, he's an MP. He has the possibility to meet with people, go down to his local community, go to Dover, sit in a community centre or in a charity that helps refugees, speak to them and try to understand, why are these people relying on dinghies? Okay, they're doing it because they can't come by ferry and they can't come by plane. Well, then maybe the solution would be to allow them to use those legal routes. And then they wouldn't be paying all these people traffickers. There's the solution. Why didn't I think of it before? Obviously, he doesn't want to do that because he wants to keep the racists happy. You know, people who voted for Brexit, not me, him saying it, because they don't want race relation problems. Once again, not me saying it, the Brexiteer saying it. The mask has fallen, but we already knew what was behind the mask. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.